To choose between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Can you hear me at all, Haas? Can't hear me?
I'm adding the AirPods. 1 sec.
Sounds like we're going to have to
Testing
have
1, 2.
I can hear you. Can you hear me at all? No.
Yep, perfect.
Okay. Oh, wait, you can't hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. Well, we can just do it like normal then. We'll plug in a little bit here.
Cool. Thanks.
93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids. First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids. First, I hold
All right, welcome into the breeze. I am Harrison Arns, running the 1s and 2s, and man, it still throws me off every time I talk on this microphone and I get the audio feedback. Just the improvement in quality, it's something else.
Yeah, it's got a little different vibe now.
And we got the host, as always, DP and Haas. We got DP in studio, Haas streaming in as always. And again, Haas, I can't wait for you to make time to come down here and check it out. I know you're a busy guy, but it's truly something pretty cool that's being built over here. But nonetheless, plenty of things to talk about in regards to the NFL. But Haas, your show, man. I'll let you lead things off.
So before we talk about how amazing the studio is and everything like that, I want to say the first topic I want to talk about, I want to plant the seed real quick. So we talked about how great of a college coaching job Nebraska is last week. I want to go through all the universities that are better than Nebraska, and there's a point for that. So in a minute, we're going to talk about which coaching job, if you're a premier college head coach, would you take over Nebraska? With that said, you guys were at the stadium. It was electric watching it on TV. What were you guys thinking about the game?
I was pretty impressed with just the spectacles outside. Like, I know it's a 100-year-old stadium, but they had the drones going out there, the light show. Outside of the football game, they find a way to keep that place innovating and exciting. It was really cool. We don't obviously with the tough seasons we've had, the night games aren't always frequent, but when we do get them, it's an awesome experience. And obviously, having the access downtown for fans to kind of check this place out for post-game show and all that. At least, for me, it couldn't be any better. I'm sure DP's got plenty more to say.
Well, it's pretty cool. Ultimately, all the stuff we constantly talk about, all the stuff that goes on in sports, the reason why any of it matters are the people. And that the consistency is that sometimes the people can raise up and elevate the people who are running it. Like, you have to get better for the people that show up for you. And when you find out that 86,000, 90,000, 90+ thousand will show up for you, and that you have to keep raising the bar, continually raise the bar. The building itself is a mecca. It's a mecca. Great. You can't talk about college football, the history of college football, without talking about that building. And you can't talk about the fandom of college football, the history of college football fandom, without talking about Nebraska fans. So then you have to get the product, the actual product on the field, to that level. And that's the next task for Nebraska athletics, is to get this thing to where not only is it worthy of the building, worthy of the fans, but worthy of the young people who play in it. And that's the next task. But yesterday was a fantastic day.
Mm-hmm. And obviously Matt Rhule celebrated his first win in year 100 at Memorial Stadium. It was a good win. The guys needed it bad. I'm sure the first half of the game, there's a lot of people that were a little nervous. I saw people holding their breath, rightfully so. Northern Illinois has beaten us before, so it wasn't a team that we knew we could just go in there and easily take over. It was going to take a little bit of time, but the offense finally started to find a flow. What that means about the quarterback situation, I'm sure it's going to be talked about all week. But nonetheless, it was just good to see not only the offense finally find its groove, but the offensive line. I didn't think they started out the game great. And when you can kind of dig deep and find a way to bounce back later in the game, despite really not holding your own, I was just really impressed by that. So good win for Matt Rhule against Northern Illinois, who, not a world beater by any means. But again, you're Nebraska. You can't guarantee wins. Got to get some momentum going. And you finally saw some rhythm with that offense. And that was huge for me to see any sort of rhythm out there. That's what I needed to see from Nebraska.
So as an outsider, as a person in the DMV, as we're watching Nebraska on TV, there's some traditions during the game that we see. I want to know from people in Nebraska, what's the best tradition that happens during football games? So what's this shoe thing in the second quarter? What's that all about?
Well, the shoe thing, go ahead, Harrison, on the shoe thing, but I have some feedback.
That's a good question. I'm not even sure where that originated at. I just know in high school football, we always did the same thing. If that's just a Nebraska for kickoff that they always started, is that like a Nebraska thing that we trademarked?
I've coached all over the country, and I've never done the shoe thing, so I don't know.
Really?
I've coached in 6 states. No, nothing about it.
Because like high school football around here, I just know what happens all the time. So to me, I thought it was like kind of like you at least in Northeast Nebraska. Some of these
Never once.
Huh.
Nowhere else have I ever dealt with it. The tunnel walk is the thing.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Tunnel walk is the thing. It used to be the red balloon release, and then you had the helium
shortage
down
in Texas. The plant
did
went
that,
out.
and of course, then there was folks who were saying, well, it wasn't good for birds, and you deal with that. The red light show at the beginning of the fourth quarter is now I would think that's number 2.
I think so. They keep finding
although
ways
the Husker
to raise
walk,
the
walk in the state into the stadium, traditionally is the thing. You have the connection with the flyovers and to be able to do that, but the red light show at the beginning of the fourth quarter, tunnel walk 1, fourth quarter, like they're still trying to figure out what song like that. The Nebraska song doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
They used to do a DJ Cool, I'm told, which, okay. Like,
I like that one. That was...
Right. That's an East Coast dude. So I know the song. But the Come a Running Boys, I don't mean to offend, doesn't do it for me. But those 1A and 1B, Tunnel Walk, fourth quarter, light show, stadium goes dark, then it goes red.
Yeah.
Kind of the Bray Wyatt we hear with all the phones lit up is pretty cool. And Hoss, I don't know if you saw the video, but that's pretty cool.
No, I understand that. And then from a music perspective, hearing Enter Sandman at hearing Enter Sandman at different stadiums, like you're right. We need a song. We need something that is just so catchy, just moves everyone, other than the lights, and turning it all out. So who can work on that?
Well, we keep offering suggestions. But of course, they don't feel it. Like, we're not the flagship. So
we do have some from the text line though that I do want to get to. First one is just a compliment. I'm sure it's music to your ears, DP. It is impressive how much clearer and crisper sounding the ticket comes out here in Bennett. Nice job, DP. And that is a big deal because the ticket, when that thing cuts off, it's a bummer when you realize you're out of range and then you're just not, and you can get the ticket app. But again, it's definitely an improvement. It's great that you guys are hearing it. Tech 9 Red Kingdom, they like that one. I was never big
which
on
is
that
not
one.
even it's not a Husker song.
No, Chiefs song.
It's a Chiefs song.
Yeah, and that's always tough.
It's a Chiefs song.
It's
right?
hard.
I'm not missing.
It's
that,
a
right?
Chiefs song.
Yeah.
It was made to Chiefs songs, and they kind of tweaked it to make it fit the Huskers. Those are tough to do. Anytime you try to rhyme Corn Husker, all I can think of is Dave and Buster. It's a tough one to not make that sound corny.
Well, Nebraska's not easy to rhyme
No,
with. So
it's a tough thing to not make it sound corny when you do these
well,
songs.
this is what I proposed. Rhyme it with Scarlet and Cream.
That'd be a lot easier.
Like much easier. Like but that's Hoss will get it. The writer in me says, okay, well, go with what'll work instead of like pigeonholing yourself to have to rhyme Nebraska. What's I'm old enough to remember HR Puffin stuff. It said nothing rhymes with oranges. Go with something else, bruh. Go with something else.
Yep. And then a few people say, welcome to our house. Yeah, that was like a word for me. We'll take your suggestions though. 402-464-5685. That one just doesn't have any affiliation, which would be tough to swing. But I'm down for suggestions. But we run into that conversation every single year.
Well, but that's why they picked the Nebraska song, like the Come a Running Boys. My thing is just rock the Hail Varsity, because everybody gets into it. Like that's a thing that you can control. I don't know what the pulse of Nebraska music is. Like I don't know what identifies it. Some of it's hip hop, some of it's country, full ranges. They try to take care of the majority, whatever that is.
Yeah, I think you probably hit the nail on the head here. There is a lot of music diversity here. You come up where I'm from, you're going to hear country all the way through until you get to Lincoln. And then it's going to change up. Then it's all over the map once you get down here in Lincoln. When you and Haas, I'm sure it's pretty consistent, streams of music, unless I'm wrong.
Well, we're DMV. So if you're in the DMV, it's a thing that's so unique to the DMV. It's go-go music. And here's the thing. I don't care if you're left, right, conservative, liberal, progressive, whatever it is, black, white, blue, brown, when the backbeat of go-go hits, it's the one thing that unites Republicans, Democrats in the DMV. Austin, am I wrong in this?
I'm not that old. I don't know, man.
Hey, a shout out. Listen. So a buddy of mine has a store, and Hoss knows I'm a swag guy. And he sent me a text about this warm-up that he had. Hoss now has it on. That's just the way.
Is that what he's wearing?
Oh, show it to him, bro.
Lakers
Hoss, you got to show it to us, bro. You got to put it on the street. You got to stand up and flash it. Yeah, look at that. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, and it's got the pants to it. So,
hey.
Yeah, it's got the pants too, man.
Yeah, it is pretty clean.
Right?
I do like that.
Right? Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
I don't know if DP saw me rip it off and show the love prints, but it's all good.
Hey, that's the other one, man. That's the other one. Literally, like in full description, that love prints is just simply a concept that makes, no matter what you're doing, and no matter the next thing that you come across, leave it more covered in love than you found. And when I got the link and I try to explain to people that that's my philosophy for everything, whether it's coaching, whether it's relationships, whether it's friendships, whether it's business, and then community. Leave the thing, whatever the thing, and Hoss and I can speak to this, that when we coached together, we connected on philosophy. We wanted to leave the program better, and we found it. When we found it, it was a program that had won 20 plus out of 22 district titles in basketball. Together we won the first 2 back-to-back regional championships. Leave it better than you found it. That's just literally how simple, whether it's people, whether it's a mission, a task, situation, community. Hoss has jumped on board and been a great ambassador for it. Love Prince is just simply that, leaving it better than you found it. Hoss, well done, bro.
So thank you for that, and well done by you. One thing, DP, I'm in my 49th season of coaching sports. So it's a lot of youth sports, high school sports, whatever it may be. And I'm still growing. And so in the past couple weeks, I've learned that when I'm dealing with the youth, that I need to ask critical questions and let them come up with the solutions. I need to take a step back. Today or yesterday in the halftime speeches of all my games, I didn't say a word. All the players did the halftime speeches. And I didn't need to say a word because they said everything I was going to say. And to me, that's greatnesses. That's my players understanding the game. And if I'm doing that for 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds, imagine what they're going to do in the classroom. Because right now I'm frustrated with how kids are. They memorize everything. They get information from Google, and they don't have the critical thinking. And I don't take credit for this. The reason why this happened is my mentors in my coaching. I coach in VYS, and Stephen Bird and Oscar Leone and Adam Coolbaugh. They said, take a step back. Let the kids grow. Let them be the ones that think and come up with solutions. And so now it's always questions instead of statements. And that's beautiful. I love it.
Well, it's our job. And it's what coaches do. It's what leaders do, is that I don't have to have all the answers. In this business with a microphone, cameras now everywhere, everybody's tracking. I don't have to know everything. I have to get to the right question. And whether it's in sports or coaching, I don't have to, listen, Hoss knows this to be true. No matter football, baseball, basketball, no matter what age it is, my first question is, how are we doing and what do we see? It's always those things, because what do you want to do? All right, how do you feel? Because it puts it on them to have responsibility, accountability, but it gives them voice. And to find out whether your coaching reaches, whether your leadership is reaching, simply ask, hey man, are you getting it? And if you're not, let me know, and we'll figure it out together. I don't have to know everything. Mm-hmm. We sit in this microphone, man. Hoss and I talk, we go back and forth all the time, always asking questions. We're constantly curious.
Let me pick you guys' brain on this, because I curious because I hear this all the time, and you guys have both been in the coaching game for a long time now. When we're talking about generations, have you guys had to change how you coach, change anything when you're dealing with different generations? Or is that just kind of something you hear old heads, I don't want to call them old heads, but people saying about the next generation? Is that a real thing where you have to talk to different generations differently, or are you just staying the same?
Let me go first, DP. The way that DP communicates, any generation hears it. So that's what matters. So if you communicate with your heart, you lead the right way, everyone hears it. Now, there's all kinds of players. So now we have this going on in school and this going on in home, and we have to be sensitive to that and mindful of that. Before, it was just one way of coaching, and that was it. And if the players didn't get on board, I'm going to go to the next player and the next player. It's understanding, whoa, I have 3 kids of my own, and kid number 1, kid number 2, and kid number 3 are very different. I can't be the same way. I have to evolve and grow as a leader.
Yeah, there's Haas. That's really the good. Haas is the same. He'll tell you he's not the same. His origin is the same. His starting point is always the same. He simply wants it to work. Right? There are 2 types of leader. There are people that want to be in ownership, and then there are people that want to be productive in it. There are people that want to be able to say, you know what, ownership is, this is mine, do it my way or else. That's, generationally, there are people that work that way. I'm a member of the club that, listen, I can be present. Like Haas, what he's talking about is just being present. He has his foundation for how his kids know that they're going to engage him. It's with respect and love, and then purpose and mission. But then he is present enough with each child to identify where they are, who they are, what they need from him, and then what's good for them. And you see it around the station that I give different responsibilities to different people, because there are people that excel at certain things, and then I can maneuver them to be around somebody that's better at something than they are, and then they see that and go, well, wait a minute. It's doable, and I want that. Like, I want to be able to do that. And then elevate. Everything in leadership, management, parenting, etc., is love-based, forward and up. That, like, love, forward, up. Every decision. Does it make you better? Does it advance you? Are you going to get better? Are you good? Like, are you good? Okay, cool. That means that you feel loved. I can hear you. Hey, coach, I don't understand this. I'm not going to be mad if you ask me something that I've never coached you. I'll get frustrated if I continually ask you, like, I've taught you this thing, and you forget the rule. Okay, that was simplicity. So now I can tell you, that means you don't understand it, and then we need to have a different discussion. But no, coaching, teaching, educating, parenting, partnering is all love. And if anybody tells you otherwise, that coaching is, you need to be tough and rough. No. You can be tough and still love. Is it good? That's the part where people get lost. Like, it's convenient. Doesn't make it good. Lead, love, forward, and up. That's simple biz for me.
I like what you said there, because if you think about all the requirements you had on there, kind of just sound like you're talking about Tom Osborne, right?
Well, it could be Joe Gibbs, it could be John Thompson. I'm blessed, and Haas gets it, that I've been around some amazing coaches: Dom Capers, Urban Meyer, Rick Majerus, Lavelle Edwards, Jerry Sloan.
Jerry Sloan, that's what I meant to say.
Right, like, just great coaches. And so you become a sponge to you learn to listen. Like, what was I going to tell Jerry Sloan about basketball? What was I going to say to Urban Meyer or Joe Gibbs about football? What was I going to say? Hey, John Thompson, you don't know what you're talking about. No. Even if I don't agree with it, I can listen to it and accumulate information. Like, it's what all of them gave me was identify talent, and then give it experience. And talented people with experience become knowledgeable, more knowledgeable about what makes them good and what works. If identifying the talent in Haas Tabrizi sitting in a basketball and then just kind of whispering, come on. And not everybody's Haas Tabrizi and willing to take the risk and to go and be greater than because they're comfortable. Well, Haas is doing stuff that his people that were his bosses could only fathom. Like they can't even begin to believe. And they sit back. I mean, there are people on the stream right now who Haas and I worked for. They're comfortable and they're good people. But Haas dared to take steps. And with his experience, he went and got more experience. Well, that's why he's on a radio station in Lincoln, Nebraska, talking to the world digitally, getting ready to do, his first TED Talk. And I said first because he's got more in him, right? So, and I know that best-selling author, community leader, coach, great dad, great husband, great man. And then that's what we're here for.
Hey, man, Haas, we got about 4 minutes about 3-4 minutes here. I'll kind of let you wrap things off here. But yeah, I think that's well said. I don't think I need to add on to that.
For those of you that thought Paul Heyman was the greatest manager of all time, we've just been corrected and it's DP. So that's number one. Number two, we're talking about coaching. And with that, we first started with there's coaching jobs out there. Which coaching jobs? I'm going to list some universities and we'll do some right now and then we'll do some after the break. Which universities are a clearer, better job than Nebraska? And so we'll go with the SEC. Alabama.
Are you just talking football or are you talking athletic department? Or are you talking business?
Football.
Okay. Football.
And I understand there's metrics with it. So the reason, the metrics that I have in there, I'm going to include the fan base. I'm going to include what I can recruit. I'm going to include the money. I'm going to include the stadium, and I'm going to include the history.
Okay, so Alabama and you have to use the example that exists, that Nick Saban would not swap Nebraska for Alabama.
Correct.
That to me is the proper way. Would Matt Rule choose Alabama, same metrics, Alabama over Nebraska? 100%.
In a heartbeat. 100%. Yeah.
Wow.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So Alabama, obviously. Georgia.
Yeah.
Yes.
That one's easy too.
Florida.
No.
I'm not there on Florida.
No. If you asked me this when Urban was there, yes. Because Urban and Urban did it the same way he did it at Utah. His coaching staff with seven future Division I Power 5 head coaches, top 20 ranked head coaches on that staff. That was the game. But you saw what it did to Urban, and you saw what it did to the players, and you saw what it did to the fans. Like, there are documentaries of all the things that went wrong because it got bigger than the program.
Mm-hmm. Swamp King is...
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely one of them. Yep. A few more Haas, and then we'll throw it to break.
LSU.
I think I might take LSU.
That is seasonal. There are coaches who left LSU to come to Nebraska. So I would say it depends on the person. They're on par. I'm not sure there's a definitive when it comes to that because
is Rule leaving Nebraska for LSU?
I would almost.
I don't think he would.
I don't think he would, but I'm not sure that LSU's coach would leave LSU for Nebraska.
Okay.
Well, and a big part of it, and we'll go to break after this, but I'll set the table for you, Haas. There were coaches who were rumored to be involved in the conversation when it comes to Nebraska football, and there were coaches who were asked, and the response was, "Listen, there's a program for a coach that when he got announced as the head coach of that program, there were 11 media people at the presser. There were almost 3,000 people in the presser announcing Nebraska's head coach. For the same money, there's a different level of responsibility and accountability and work. Just add that to the whole thing because some coaches don't want to have to deal with 300 media members for practice,
which is a fair thing,
right? Like they just don't want to. They don't want to ask. There's a difference.
That being said, good point to leave it off. And programming note: we do have Royals at 12:30. So again, stay plugged into the streams: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo, channel 951. FM airwaves will switch over to the Royals. This is The Breeze. I'm Harrison. We got DP streaming in. We'll throw the break and catch you guys on the other side.
Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians
I don't like
qualified to work on a variety of vehicles.
Like I don't blame them because it's just going to be
Jaguars,
constant.
Toyotas, and Chevrolets too.
You might want to mute.
On customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive. Always honest answers.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, call 988 for free, confidential, and compassionate support. On July 16th, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is transitioning to 988. There is hope. For 24/7 support, call, text, or chat 988.
Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
They are our love bugs and companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life better. When we face unexpected challenges, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people and their pets. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
I think it's just vapor. Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much, right?
One vape.
Are you comfortable doing a long segment here? Just going straight through.
My kid?
Okay, because I just realized music's gone
5.1
too.
million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into The Breeze. Again, I am Harrison Arns running the 1s and 2s. We got Haas streaming in as always, DP hosting as well. And again, Haas, quick programmer's note for you. This is going to be a long segment. We're just going to run straight through to the end of the hour to get all our content in as we're still getting things set up over here. And with the Royals, it's going to be easier that way. We get more content in that way as well. But you left off, we're talking about jobs that possibly you would take over in Nebraska. I think the last one we left off was LSU. What's the next one?
Actually, Haas, hold on a sec.
Yeah.
I have to do a thing. So I had the plan with Haas. And look, this is when you say know your people. I kind of knew Haas would rock the Lakers stuff today, right? I kind of had a thought that like Haas was absolutely going to rock the Lakers stuff today. He's back in town and to do that. And Haas knows me.
Struggle with joint pain.
Haas knows me well enough to know that I like to take opportunities and create moments and to say thank you to people for being exceptional. it's not even basic, but being exceptional at the things that matter. And Harrison has done like so much really cool stuff around here, and watch him grow and kind of get into this thing. But Harrison doesn't ask for much. He just shows up and he does his thing. But you know what? DP is a forward. So Harrison, you have to go into the bag. You have to go into the bag.
Let me put the camera on me.
Yeah.
Take me off the mic. Take me off the camera. Put both of you on.
Put Harrison on the camera. Let's get him on
All right.
there.
Haas, unfortunately, that's going to take a while to set up. So we'll just do it for me right now.
Yeah, no, we'll get it done. Like I wanted to. Yeah,
I'm going to stand up. So DP, you carry the audio.
yeah. Like it's so.
Can I spoil it? Can I spoil it? I think I know what it is.
Yeah, you probably do.
Is it Scottie Pippen?
No, close.
Justin Fields?
No, close.
Michael Jordan?
Yeah, I went and got one that he's not gonna see. He's not gonna see anybody wearing this jersey. He is not gonna see anybody rocking this one. And I was so proud of it when I saw it. I was like, oh yeah, this is the one I have to say. I need to say thank you to Harrison for that one. And this is my way of saying thank you for all that you do and being flexible, being fluid, being a pro, and just quite frankly, you're such a valuable part of what we're doing here, and it is appreciated because you make my life easier. I trust you with my name and my brand, and I wanted to say thank you for it.
DP, man, I appreciate it so much. It's crazy. I haven't gotten a jersey in years, and it takes me back to like being a kid.
Yeah,
you know, when you get that jersey of your player, and you're just like, you know, I'm ready for the NBA season to start now with my squad. But yeah, man, if you would have told me where I'd be right now, this job's kind of been a whirlwind. I started interning with Early Break, and you know, going into journalism, it's not always the thing that everyone's like, yeah, man, that's the way to money. But it's like I got to find something I love, and I got to find a way to be happy. Every day I got to find a way to get happiness out of it. And this thing just kept going. Didn't know, you know, who DP was and what he was going to bring. But man, I hitched my cart up to the wagon at the perfect time. And you kind of talked about it before, and you do a good job of pushing everyone and just expecting better and more. And that's a fair thing, you know, just keep giving what you have. But you also treat everyone with respect as well. So I appreciated DP and could not be happier to work for this company.
Yeah, it's a thing that in asking people, like I'm blessed enough that even like when I wasn't doing radio or when I wasn't doing TV or if I wasn't coaching or writing or whatever it is, if I went after the things that I love doing, the money side of it, like I don't chase money, chase happiness. Like money is like, I know some really rich, unhappy people. They're miserable. They're miserable. And
the wealth management advisor agrees with that.
Right? Like they're just miserable people, right, Haas? And that if you find some happiness, and then tell people with your money, if you get money, pursue happiness with the money. And even if it's just moments and people, and you know, Becky likes to say that I'm too generous sometimes. I'm like, okay, if that's gonna be on my epitaph, that DP lived and he was too generous. Like we laughed. There are people that came in here a Saturday for game day, and it was a great crowd. It was amazing to be a part of it. And then people just went, man, this must have cost you a fortune. Well, here's the thing. It wasn't about the money because they're like, well, why didn't you could have just put the money in the bank. And I said, no, that's not a love print. That's not a love print. The love print would be to give Lincoln something that it's never had, or at least I think it's worthy of. And it wasn't about having the X number of dollars in the bank account. It was, if I reinvest it in the city, it'll provide happiness, it'll provide opportunity, it'll provide a happy place. Like this will be a happy place that people get to come in.
We saw it with Fitness Fanatics.
Right?
Did you catch that scene out there?
Haas, I caught it. I don't know if Haas caught it, but Haas, so we have a fan cam that points out into the street, right? And Jeff and Nicole just encouraged people, and it happened last night for pregame, postgame. But they had people come out this morning, and they had signage, they had lawn chairs.
Harry Potter was out
here. It was brilliant. And you could say, look, I could accumulate riches, or I can accumulate moments. And I'd much rather accumulate the happiness moments than I would for the riches. The riches will come and go. The happiness are just those moments are never going to go away. And I thought, okay, I'm going to put a smile on Harrison's face because there are days when he allows me to just recharge and to trust him. And I don't have to be here 24 hours a day. Finding people you trust, who love what then they love it the way I love it, which is all there. And then you get to watch a star born. And, well, Harrison has done that. So bravo.
Appreciate it, DP. You know, I'm just grateful, and I'll leave it at there. And we got more work to do.
All right, Hoss, let's get to it. Let's get to that list.
So Raph had his show and had a fan with the sign out there. So
Yep, Raph Brody is what he calls him.
Yeah.
What's up, Breezers? Where's some Breezers at?
Right. All the wrestling fans. So that's what will ultimately happen is you're going to accumulate all the wrestling fans. And when we get to the point where we're talking about it in full on a regular basis, they're going to show up here. And it's going to be beautiful. Plus, in this place now, there will be pro wrestlers that are in studio. And I'm working on that as we speak.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'd love to know.
Well, it's different to bring them in here, right? Like it's a little different. Haas, the difference between wrestling at T-Mobile Arena or wrestling at the local high school gym. We've kind of made it. I don't feel bad about bringing UFC fighters to the new location. I feel a little better about it.
Yeah, I've never noticed. I never sent too many invites to the old place.
Right.
You know, I was okay with you.
Right.
It was a little bit of a dungeon, and we can say that because we're not in there anymore. But hey,
Not mad at it.
That's just incredible that we got out of there.
Not mad at it. Just a little different.
Humble beginnings, right?
Yeah, man.
So
All right,
if you want to be on the fan cam, you either need a PG sign or a Rey Mysterio mask or a WWE belt, and boom, we got you.
100%. 100%.
All right. Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Florida, Tennessee. Is Tennessee a job that Matt Rule should leave and go become their next head coach?
No.
No. Yeah, no.
No.
Auburn.
No.
Texas A&M.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Better foundational financing and support. It's Texas. Whatever you get, if Texas A&M call Matt Rule, I can't speak for Matt Rule, but he's literally doing camps down there and he's in Nebraska.
Well, let me ask you this. I know Texas isn't there yet, but what about Texas?
Texas A&M. They're on the list.
Okay, I would have taken I looked at kind of like Texas and Nebraska as the same. You know, hungry fan bases, but Texas you get an edge recruiting. So again, I think that's kind of flavor.
Austin versus College Station. There's a difference. There's a huge difference between Austin, Texas, and down on the Strip in Austin. Recruiting to Austin is entirely different than record. I'm surprised. I expected TCU would because it's Dallas Fort Worth rather than Austin or College Station. But College Station, Texas A&M does a really good job of being structured in how money works in the town around the programs. Now, if you said all athletics, I wouldn't say Texas A&M. But if it's football, I understand. Like that 12th man thing is on par and in the same universe with Huskers. Hook 'em, that's on par with Go Big Red. Like Gig 'em, Hook 'em, Go Big Red are those are big. Those are big. So I'm not writing that off. It is a thing that you would consider. Long money, as Biggie said, big bank take little bank. The money aspect to Texas A&M and Texas certainly entered the conversation.
Okay, that's fair. So Texas over that. We got the edge on Texas for those.
Unless I'm being blind, I don't see another SEC team that.
Correct.
No,
So
it's Georgia, Alabama were the ones, Texas, A&M, and Texas in the future here once they're in the SEC.
Yeah,
but I think those are the ones we landed on.
Yeah, if you asked LSU six years ago, it might be a different name.
We're going to go with people in the current conference just to make it simpler.
Okay.
So, Notre Dame.
Yes.
I'm not really.
Oh, yeah.
Notre Dame,
definitely.
History network, bro. They don't need anybody to be to be the version of Notre Dame football that they want to be. They have their own network.
I just feel like the academic cap, though, which is a real thing, they've had a hard time.
Well, those exist, but that's not really a thing that's going to bother a football coach. Notre Dame is a brand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a brand, and it doesn't need a conference to be branded by. It doesn't need it. NBC came to Notre Dame first. Look, back in the 60s, Notre Dame were on TV every Sunday. Like, that's just they've been consistent.
I guess I just think about winning, and I guess I'd have to see Notre Dame climb those heights again to be real.
But Nebraska hasn't won. Notre Dame's been in the playoff system. Like, they've been in the championship game.
Yeah,
twice. Like, in recent years. Like, this
you're
recent.
hurt my pride. You're probably right.
Recent.
It's probably Notre Dame.
Well, if winning is the thing, Notre Dame's in a stratosphere that Nebraska currently is not.
Mm-hmm.
And having your own network, and you can put on a Notre Dame jersey anywhere in the world, and everybody knows where it is and what that means.
Yep, and the Haas just got the Montana jersey up.
Yeah, 100%.
On cue.
Right,
On cue.
100%.
Okay.
100%. That some of the greats ever walked through that. I mean, they made a movie about Notre Dame.
I was going to say, can you take your hat off, DP? Take your glasses off,
right?
And just be the guy. Boom, Rudy, let's go. Come on, Harrison.
Shout out to Charles Dutton, man. That's my guy. Charles Dutton is my guy. No, it's the Gipper. Play like a champion. The mascot himself. Like, sorry, but if you show Herbie, not Little Red, Herbie, his recognition level is not that of the Fighting Irish.
Nebraska doesn't even know what they want Herbie to be.
Like, they don't and they changed it. The Fighting Irish is the Fighting Irish is the Fighting Irish. So the brand, which everybody talks about, I think that's the space for me.
All right, timeout, Haas. What's up?
Music.
Yeah, fight song. And that's a big part of all of the discussion. Like, the Aggie yell practice, fight song, when one Aggie scores, they all score. The rivalry, the natural rivalry with Texas and another elite blue blood. It leads me to somebody that Haas may not have gotten to, but Oklahoma is on the list. Oklahoma, that natural, and one of the great curses and crimes against college football fandom is that the Oklahoma-Nebraska rivalry has been set aside.
Mm-hmm.
Shame on them.
It is. That's a disgrace.
Whoever made that decision, shame on you. Like, put it back, get it right, fix it. Fix it.
All right, I have it.
Oh, go ahead, Haas.
I have an idea that will make Nebraska more elite nationwide.
Okay.
After every touchdown, everyone takes a shuck of corn and throws it towards the field. Not on the field because you don't want a 15-yard penalty, but everyone throws a piece of corn out after every touchdown.
No.
And that'll be their thing.
There would be more.
You ever husk corn, Haas?
No.
Messy process and a messy ordeal.
No, he has not. And he
can take popcorn and make it fly like LeBron with his powder.
No, but you don't understand. Like, there are people who work at Memorial Stadium who are cursing Haas right now. They're literally cursing him. They don't even know Haas, and they're like, "Okay, screw that guy." Like that.
The Detroit Red Wings would be proud because the octopus that they throw is way worse.
Well, but, they try to set to not do that because it's a problem. It is a problem. I mean, think about it on that level. That there are people walking around Detroit with squid in their pocket.
I'd hate it to be the workers. They probably have this tough staffing issue.
Oh,
trying to get people to clean that up.
But
consistently.
Who wants to be in a hockey rink with 1,000 people with squid in their pocket? What in the wide world of sports are we talking about? Like, somebody, you imagine that smell? Like, just go, like, oh my goodness, in a condensed ice box of just stench.
Maybe that's the ice advantage, home ice advantage.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Like, think about it in Seattle where the fish market. Like, imagine if they said, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna throw fish down on the field because, quite frankly, that's what we want to do. No. Sometimes the grown-ups in the room have to just say no.
Detroit has their thing. Nebraska, you got to figure it out. Whether it's today, next week, whatever it is, you need music. You need something.
Hoss, throwing the bones is more than enough. Throwing the bones is epic.
It puts a smile on your face every time.
Yeah, throw the bones, baby. Like, it's just, and I shout out to Adam Carricker because nobody says it like Adam Carricker.
He does do
like
good.
Carricker delivers it. Bones.
If you haven't caught Adam Carricker when he's on the ticket, what is that? Every Monday?
He's now Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Oh,
Adam Carricker is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday here on the ticket, and then the Wednesday is the All-American Steve Taylor.
We got a lineup.
Oh, we got a lineup, and guess what? The lineup gets better. I go. Haas will understand the short attention span theater of what we're doing, but Haas can tell you about somebody that's joining our lineup this week. Every day, DeMornay Piersonell will be on 937 The Ticket. And Haas, I try to tell the stories of him as a basketball player. Haas saw him as a football player, but as a basketball player in a district that had some of the best point guards in the country, that all of them cringed at the idea of DeMornay Piersonell locking them up.
I can see it.
Like, we had the 6A player of the year, 2-time player of the year, and his least favorite player to play against was DeMornay. Haas, what are your recollections of DeMornay down at West Potomac?
Athlete.
He actually reffed one of my games down here in Lincoln for a tournament.
Yeah.
And when the refs, when there's time, they'll go shoot around.
Yeah.
Oh, we all saw it right there.
Oh.
Because we were like, is that him? Is that Pierce? It looks like him. We're pulling up the images.
Yeah.
And then you see him go up to throw it down.
Yeah.
Like, that's the guy.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
All right, let's rapid fire. Florida State.
That's a good one, actually.
No, because it's Tallahassee. That's literally the only thing. And you've seen coaches go in there and shank it, which is they're in the same category as Nebraska. That they're a blue blood that's lost a little of the shine. I would not make the swap. I would.
I think that's just kind of even. Both are kind of trying to do the same
Florida
thing,
State,
right?
Miami, Florida.
Trying to climb back.
They're all in the club with Nebraska that they were in the, and now they're kind of not at the head of the table anymore. They're still in the room, still in the conversation. Their card still works at the VIP door, but they're not at the head of the table.
I'll say this: when there's Twitter polls and they always come up, is Nebraska blue blood? I still think so, but
outside of the market.
Outside of the market, Haas.
Not outside. Florida State, way better outside. They're number 3 right now.
Well, they're right now, but I wouldn't change. I would not leave the Nebraska job for the Florida State job. I would. Me personally, being and that's as an independent, no bias, I wouldn't leave Nebraska for Florida State.
If I was unbiased,
I'm going to Florida State. I'm bringing more players to Florida State.
You're going to recruit more players at Florida State. You're going to get better alumni. I think the difference between Florida State, Miami, and Florida and Nebraska. So you take the 3 Florida teams that are all in the blue blood club, not necessarily at the head of the table currently. They are all better with their alumni than Nebraska. Like, a full-on difference is that they're not. Those programs engage, embrace, celebrate the alumni, and give them access to the program to help grow the program, to help advance the program better than Nebraska. That's the one thing that I would say. That's the difference for me. If the answer is yes to any of those 3, it's because of the alumni relationship.
And we're talking just football for those that are
100% football.
Because we've seen it with the volleyball program and what that does for them.
Well, basketball, baseball, like all those programs are better.
Yeah, they are. They have been.
They're all years. Better. So it's a natural thing. It's a natural thing that you go and play.
Knowing we have 9 minutes, if there's one that you're vehemently against, meaning if I say Florida State, I'm just going to add it to the list. If one of us says that job's better to make it easier. Clemson.
No.
Ooh. There's a lot of similarity. There's a lot of similarities in that Clemson is the show. South Carolina rivals them. If there was no South Carolina, yes. With South Carolina existing, no.
Okay.
No, not in football, not in any other sport. Clemson rolls though, man. Look, it's a thing,
Mm-hmm.
but no, they're at the same table. There's more money for Nebraska than there is Clemson.
That's kind of where I'm at.
There's
too.
more money. Yeah.
And I don't know if the recruiting's necessarily that much better because you're competing with a lot of those schools as well.
Well, you get, the Carolinas, all of the Carolinas, Georgia Tech, Florida.
So you're gonna have access, but so is everyone else around you. So those are gonna be tough recruiting waters.
It's a battle. Nebraska's battling Iowa.
Yeah.
And not winning.
Yes. Yes, again, unfortunately.
Right, and not winning.
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska changes a lot of it if they become the force over Iowa. Pretty simple.
Well, we just thought Harvard first scholarship quarterback to start since 2001.
Yeah, it's a big.
Mm-hmm. Haas, keep going here anymore.
We talked about Miami.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
No DP.
Only because The Rock is The Rock. Like, I watched him in Colorado. We watched him Friday night on SmackDown. When we talk branding and money and exposure and brotherhood, right? The way the alumni rally, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, like you can go through the full thing. Gino Torretta is. They made a star of Gino Torretta, for crying out loud. Bernie Kosar, Testaverde. Like Miami and its alumni party better. Luke, Uncle Luke, like Irvin, come on, it's a huge. They get the Marley family, for crying out loud. I'm gonna say that dollar to dollar. So if you match dollars, I might go to Miami as a coach because the recruiting's easier. As Scott Frost said, I can roll the football down the street and get all the skill position guys, no matter what everybody else is doing.
Yeah,
that's a difference maker.
Yeah,
Sean Taylor.
Yep.
May he rest in peace.
100%.
Clemson, Miami. I'm getting players. I understand that Nebraska's done more than Clemson, but Clemson and Miami, I am. All right, Michigan.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
This one better be quick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ohio State.
Yes.
Yep.
Our president just told you out loud. He's like, deuces. I'm a Buckeye. Like Top Gun was like, hey, bro, Buckeye.
The worst part is everyone is like, I get it.
It was like,
Those are easy.
Yeah.
Michigan State.
No.
And I don't like things that have a little bit of extra smell to it.
Mm-hmm.
Penn State.
No,
that's enough for
Matt
me.
Rule would. Let me rephrase.
Yeah, let me
rephrase.
Pennsylvania.
I think Matt Rule would. I think if Penn State offered the same money, being a Penn State guy, and their current location in college football for what they are now. Now, the aspiration and the motivation would be for Matt Rule to make Nebraska Penn State level good. And then we would give him the keys to every building in Lincoln, Nebraska. But if he did that, then I think that his value to Penn State is greater than it would be to Nebraska. And then Penn State would go, you know what? They're paying you 9. We'll give you 14. Come home. So.
With the connections, I can see that.
I wouldn't.
Personally.
I wouldn't. I'm not sure that, James Franklin wouldn't leave Penn State for Nebraska.
No.
I'm not sure that Matt Rule would. And I understand it. And that's not a slight. I'm not mad about it.
The connections. He's got real connections.
It's connection.
Yeah.
USC.
Yep.
You going yes on that
yes,
one?
Sir.
Oh,
yes,
no.
sir.
Come on. There's so much history in championships.
I'm not fighting it.
Yes, sir.
That's Michigan, Ohio State.
Yes,
Oregon.
Sir.
Oregon.
Yeah, I'm taking Oregon.
Nike is a deal, bro.
That's
Nike,
the only thing, the first thing that comes to mind. I want all that money. I want all the uniforms. I want all the shoes. Oregon, 100%.
Yes, sir.
Texas, Oklahoma.
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about those.
Yes.
Texas Tech.
No.
Nope.
Stanford.
No.
Utah.
Hold on.
You're thinking about Stanford?
Hold on.
They just
Stanford. Okay.
Hold on. Let's
Hold on.
Let's pump the brakes, baby.
We got 4 minutes to figure this one out.
Let's pump the brakes, bro. Like, listen, you might take the Duke job just because of what the other programs allow you to do. We're talking about Stanford, man. Like, wait a minute. Your brand, like that Stanford brand, Stanford and Cal get different, and UCLA get different conversations. They get different conversations. Like UCLA has to compete with USC. Let me repeat that. They're competing with USC for recruits, for dollars, for access, for otherwise. Before you just pass away UCLA, you better remember that they're fighting the big dog. Like they're fighting a big dog. Like they're primetime Jey Uso. They're Big Match Jey Uso, but you still have to put them in the conversation because if Jey Uso is your guy, you're not mad because he's running with Roman Reigns. Like he's running against the big dog. So ponder that. Cal, USC, Stanford, they're Jay.
Luck McCaffrey. Yep. Lately,
100%,
I know
right?
there's history there.
Yep.
So then UCLA.
Same conversation.
Cal.
Same conversation.
Wisconsin and Iowa.
No.
Utah.
No, I wouldn't take Utah. DP, you might disagree with me on this one. I got a feeling you're going to take Utah.
No.
Well, here's why I won't take Utah or BYU. Utah is the structural stuff that is in play. Utah's not doing everything for its football program right now that it should do. Utah should be one of the top 10 programs in the country, period. All the time and sold as such. It's not. BYU, because of its ownership in the space, should be in the top 10 programs in the country because it owns a whole cultural base and has ownership of it, and it's systemic, that it's in line for them to have recruiting access to the world. Like they've got all the Pacific Islands under their watch and purview. They're missing it. The reason why USC is on the elite list is that they snuck into BYU's, Oregon, UCLA, all the Cal schools. They snuck into BYU's backyard and start stealing some of their people and their money. That's the only reason why Utah and BYU are not at head of the table. They're in the club. In the club.
Would you take that, be comfortable that I can get that back and I can catch the ground that we lost? Like, that's where I say no, because you have a point, but I don't. That's a lot.
A minute.
It's a lot to give up. Utah, for me, if I was given a chance to go into a place and just wreck a place and turn it into the monster of all monsters, it might be Utah.
Okay.
Sleeping Jay.
Haas, we got real quick here. Wrap it up.
Colorado.
No.
So there's 17 schools that we said is a job that's better than Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't Nebraska get winning season after winning season after winning season? Tune in next week on The Breeze.
Yep, 100%.
That's a good spot to leave it off. Again, go Ticket FM, catch the podcast there. We're going to sign off here. We will see you guys next week.